to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
What's up, my Fly Nubian queens? This is the Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your what? Your what?
Money.
Yes. So today, y'all, we're going to talk about how to protect your money from the scammers. The scammers are at large. They are, oh my God. Let me tell you something. Today, we're going to talk about something that really hits home and that targets so many people in our community. A family recently put money down on an apartment that did not exist, and they're not alone. Fraud disproportionately affects Black men and women, and it's time that we get real about how to protect our finances. So today, the Fly Nubian Queens are going to break it all the way down to the very last compound. And we're going to talk about some warning signs, some real life examples, some actionable steps, and so that you can keep your money in your account and your credit, yes, I said credit, safe. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something. This episode is about empowerment. It's about prevention and making sure that you never get caught off guard. And so before we get into the conversation, I want to introduce you to the most fabulous queens on the planet. I'm going to start with the doctor, the realtor, the stand-up comedian, the psychic medium. I mean, she does it all. This is Dr. Charm, baby. How you doing, mama?
Hola, mi gente, ¿cómo están?
She speaks Spanish. Come on. This is who you want to work with, ladies and gentlemen. And then we got the B.Big Coach. Hey, the B.Big Coach. What's happening, Dr. Felice? What's happening? How you doing today, lady? Good to see you.
How y'all doing?
Wonderful. And finally, we got Dr. S.E.W. in the building, all the way from Jackson, Mississippi. What's happening? What's going on out in the SIP?
What's up? Same old. Same old.
My son is out there. I just put him in an apartment. They gave him an apartment with bed bugs. Yeah. So I had to call down. He called me yesterday talking about they were supposed to spray yesterday. And then he calls me and said they didn't show up. And then they showed up and then he didn't have his stuff together. And then they tried to find him. And I had to call people, curse him out and all that stuff. Got them all the way together. We're better today. This was yesterday in the Jackson, Mississippi. So I need you to help me out.
We gotta connect.
So
I do have a guest room. I do.
Okay, thank you. I wish I'd have known it. I'd have sent this little behind over there so he wouldn't have to sit with them bed bugs. Anyway. So ladies, have you guys ever been scammed? The people tried to scam me yesterday in Jackson, Mississippi. But give me Dr. Sabrina, I see you nodding your head. What was your scamming like? What happened with you? I've gotten scammed many a time. So
the one that resonates with me is similar to the case that we're talking about. So I had a property that I had. This was before it was popular to list everything online. So I just had the for property for rent sign out in the yard. Well, apparently the scammers came by, saw my sign, took a picture of my house and posted it online as their rental. Well, when a young lady came to look at the property, view the property, and she and I were talking about, the leasing agreement, we got down to the price and she was like, that's not what they had listed online. And I'm like, no, that's not what you had listed online. That's what she said to me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she said, you had another price online. I'm like, what are you talking about? This house is not online. And she was like, oh, yes, it is. I saw it online. So then she takes out her phone and she's showing me my house online that I did not post.
How did she contact you in the first place?
So I guess when she saw it online, instead of her reaching out to them, she drove past the house, which was smart on her part, because had she not done that, she would have gotten scammed. But I intervened in that my sign was in the yard and my number was on the sign. So she contacted me to show her the house. And that's when the discussion came about, about the house being posted online, which it was not.
Mm-hmm. In California, you would have gotten scammed because let me I've had this happen so many times, in real estate, and it was foreclosures. So they would do the exact same thing. I would give people cash for keys to get out one day. The next day, somebody else moving in, and now I got to evict them. It's a civil case. The police won't intervene. They got the water established in their name. Now I got to take them to court and all that stuff. So you in California, and I don't know, how it is everywhere else, but the burden of proof is on the owner, and it's a lot of tenant rights out there. So they always mostly, side with the tenants in a lot of these cases, and you got to evict them. So
I had something similar. Well, I prevented, because I'm really good at like sussing out these scams. But I have a property in Chicago, and I had it on a virtual property manager for renting it out. So basically, it's like an electronic lock. They have to scan their ID to tour it, and then it gives them a specific code like 20 minutes before, so they can go in, and then it locks it. So anyway, the person had toured and everything, and it was cross-listed on like Zillow and some other platforms. And so these people, she had put in her application. So I got her application and I started, looking up everything, her credit report. And then something just told, well, I'm psychic, y'all. Something said, but go ahead and call her job. Just don't call her landlord, call her job. And so I called her landlord. Everything was fine. And I said, let me call her and find out if I need to get a release or something to contact her job. Because most times with the job, you have to get a written release to contact them. So when I called her and she was like, yeah, I'm getting ready to go, I'm getting ready to send a security deposit because you approved my application. But the amount that she said was much lower than what my security deposit was. And I was like, well, that's not the correct amount. She said, well, yeah, I was talking to the owner and he told me I want to go walk through it one more time. And he, set everything up. And he said, well, he wasn't going to be able to make it with me, but I can go through the online property manager to go walk through one more time. And I'm supposed to send the money like right, I was about to send it in an hour. And I was like, ma'am, that's not the owner. I'm the owner. So I took a picture of my ID and I took a picture of the deed and I sent it to her so she would have it. That girl was about to go and pay $1,200 and I intercepted it. And she had everything on video, like the communications. And I said, look, I'm gonna teach you something, because they were out of Africa. You could tell. What she said, the guy was like, he sounded like he was Nigerian or something. But you could tell, like they learn English on the British system. They don't learn American English. So they'll say, they'll use other words. Like instead of saying mom, like we'll say mom, M-O-M, they say M-U-M.
right.
Or instead of spelling realized with a Z, they spell it with an S. And so I was like, you can see like these things and, but anyways, that girl almost paid like $1,200 and lost it.
Wow.
If I hadn't caught that scam.
Wow. All right. So Felice, any scam in your life?
Not in my life, but like in my brother. I have a brother who is on the spectrum. He has autism, and he had people who claim to be his friends, and they literally used his social security number to buy a car, to get an apartment and all that thing. And so it's been very hard for us helping him fight it. And, one of the things is that they try to say he's high functioning, but my brother, if you talk to him for a little bit, you'll kind of know that he's on the spectrum. And so when you talk to people, say, how did you allow somebody to help him to get a car? When you talk to my brother, and you can tell that he's special needs, like, how did you let them do that? And it's just sad that people take advantage of people and how wicked people can be. Yeah. And so I'm very sensitive about my brother. And so I'm just biding my time to kind of figure out how we're going to go about attacking.
Oh, this is current.
This was, very recent.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so,
wow.
One thing Sandra Patterson said, which is right on the money, it's crazy how many lazy people there are out there that would rather spend their time and energy doing illegal and immoral actions than to use their gifts to do the good things the right way. They're not lazy. They're spending their time. These people is not lazy. You are right, but they ain't lazy because they spending a whole lot of time doing illegal shit. Like, y'all could really be productive and making long money rather than trying to make this short money, trying to scam people. I don't get it. Rice said they scam all the time here in Texas, especially on Marketplace. Yes, I know so many people have lost money trying to get a place to live. And two, the agent who sold my house, the buyer's agent in California, when you talk about Marketplace, her son lost his life a few years ago, meeting up with somebody, I think buying an iPhone or something at Target. Dude wanted to jack him and ended up shooting and killing him. So, you got to be careful, because I've seen some people say Craigslist, that's the place that they used to go to post. That's probably where they posted their thing, huh, Sabrina? That's what they used to do, is post things on Craigslist. Now it's Marketplace. It's a lot of scammers out there. So we definitely have to be aware. But let's take a look at this first video.
Hey, everybody, real quick. I've been working in fraud for 11 years at one of the largest banks in the world. So I wanted to make you aware of a scam that's going on that involves Zelle. Basically, you'll get a call from what you think is your banking center. It will come up on your caller ID as your bank. But these are scammers that will tell you that you have fraud on your account. Sometimes they will have you download an app called AnyDesk. Sometimes they will send you a code. When they send you the code, they're going to ask you to read it back to them. When you read it back to them, you're authorizing them to make Zelle transfers, even wires out of your account. I'm making you aware because our seniors are being targeted. Regular adults are being targeted. College students are being targeted. Anyone can be vulnerable to this scam. Be aware. Share this video. Most fraud departments will not call you. They'll send you a text message so you can.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
This is the Fly Nubian Money, and we are talking about scammers today. And we want to get this all. Yeah, there we go. No, not like that. Like this. Boom. We want to talk about scammers today. Where's Dr. Charm? Oh, let's bring Dr. Charm back on stage. Where you go, honey? Where you go?
I don't know. I hit a button or something. It took me. I had to come back in.
Okay. Well, welcome back. So, y'all, we talking about scammers, and she talked about a Bank of America scam that actually just happened to me. I've been attempted to be scammed. I've been like all this stuff, like so many. But somebody called me a few months ago from Bank of America and said, "Hey, somebody, your account's been compromised or something like that." I forget what it was. And I said, "Oh, okay." And they said, let me send you this link so that you can get authentication and log on. It was a Bank of America link. And I'm like, okay. So I clicked it, but it didn't work. So then they asked me for my security code. Okay, here, I'm gonna go ahead and do, you have to do the security code. So they asked me for it and I gave it to them. I think it's Bank of America. Luckily, I ain't had no money up in this account because they was trying to get like hella money. And then they was trying to, it was like $20,000 and $10,000. Like they was trying to get money like that. And I didn't have money in that account. So the Bank of America ended up calling me and saying, "Hey, are you attempting to make these, these withdrawals?" And I'm like, "Nah." And so they were like, "Oh," and I told them what happened. They go, just like she said, "We will never call you and tell you to give us the passcode. We're never going to call you and do that." So be very, very, very careful with things like that. Okay. Anybody else got any scamming stories?
Well, I just got somebody just tried to scam me yesterday. Fortunately, our medical board has sent an email out to us, but I'm always suspicious. But I got a call yesterday, and they were like, "Dr. Timms, this is the DEA." And everybody know what the DEA is, the Drug Enforcement Agency. And if you write prescriptions, you have a DEA number to write for controlled substances. So I was like, well, please identify what's your agent number. So she reads out this number. This lady obviously is in a call center. She sounded like she was in India or Philippines somewhere. And so she said, yeah. And then she read my license number out to me. So all that stuff is searchable online. Like you can search my name, you'll find my license number, you'll find the information. And then she goes, yeah, we there's something with a DEA case with you. And I said, I don't believe you. And then I just hung up the phone. But fortunately, our medical board had warned us back in May that this was a uptick in these type of scams going on.
I just got a call yesterday too. Somebody said that I was supposed to show up for jury duty. Here's another one, y'all. I'm supposed to show up for jury duty. You got that? And I said, okay, I don't remember getting anything. And then he said, well, you signed the thing and sent it back. I know I didn't sign anything since that. So I knew he was lying. And then he said, okay, so I need to take this down. And he said a code to me or something like that. And he said, now I want you to repeat it back to me. He wanted me to say this for a reason. I don't know what reason he wanted me to repeat whatever back to him. But I said, you a lying motherfucker. I did not sign up for no jury duty. And if I sign up for jury duty, send me something in the mail, but I'm not about to. So I hung up on him. But I've had so many of those situations too. Did you have a jury duty scam also, Sabrina? Have you heard of that?
I haven't had one myself, but it was running rampant here in Mississippi at one point, and an older friend of mine was almost scammed that way. In fact, she had gone to the bank because the hustle here was, there's a warrant out for your arrest because you didn't show up for jury duty. However, you can come in and pay your fee, and then they would have somebody available to meet you. So bless her heart, she was literally at the bank, and fortunately the lady at the bank caught on to what was going on and told her, no ma'am, that is not how it works. They wouldn't ask you to do that. But yeah, it's sad. And I just want to, I know we're on an online platform, but I want to caution people, even with online, being online, social media. When I was first trying to get my business up and started, somebody hacked one of my accounts. And Lord knows what they did with. I don't even want to know. I really don't want to know. All I know is I started getting these very suggestive messages from all these men. So I don't know if they put my, I don't know.
Your name and numbers in the bathroom wall, girl. If you're for a good time, call Dr. Sabrina.
I don't know what they did with my stuff. I don't know if they put my face on somebody else's body or somebody else's face on my body. I just know I just kept getting a lot of body parts. It just got ridiculous. But I mean, it's just so many of these things that are out there. And in my heart goes out to, the people who are obviously getting scammed from that. Because, some men were probably paying, to see whatever. It wasn't my stuff though, but anyway.
Listen, if y'all want to pay me to see my feet, go ahead and send me a cash app, and I'll gladly send you a picture of my feet. I got pretty feet. But to your point, to the lady who went to the bank. So let me tell you this scam that they used to always do in my office. So these people would go to my roster and they would text every agent on my roster. Every agent. This is Constance Carter. This is Constance. Hey, I'm in a meeting right now. I can't talk, but I need you to send me some money real quick. And so my agents would always text me. I had a brand new agent who just started with me. And she went and they told her to go get a Visa check card and send me $500. And she went down and did it. And I felt so terrible. I felt bad. Like I wanted to pay her. I wanted to give her her money, but it wasn't my fault. Everybody else texts me and I'd be like, tell them that you a lying motherfucker. That's what I would say. Tell them that you a lying motherfucker. No call, right? But she didn't know. And so she went down there and she got and bless her heart, because, she thought I was in trouble and I needed the money. So I felt bad, but I was like, damn, that's a hard lesson learned for her, So let me ask you a question, Dr. Felice. What do you think makes people so vulnerable to getting scammed?
I think that there's this trust level that we kind of have. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that now we live in a world where you have to be overly cautious and be on your guard. And you just have to do your due diligence. Like, we can't be lazy with it too. So one of the things we have to do is we always, I think I heard some of y'all say, go to the source. Like, even if you do get a phone call, say, you know what, I'm going to hang up and I'm going to call the bank, or I'm going to hang up and I'm going to call my place, so that you can make sure that you're going to the source. Because a lot of times now, I did PayPal with me. Somebody tried to buy a Apple iPad and some pots and pans through QVC through my PayPal account. And thank God that I got an email saying, hey, you know, you got this purchase that came through. So I immediately called QVC and I said, hey, did someone try to use my QVC account? And they was like, yes, we blocked one, but the other one is coming through. So you got to go to the source. And they said, we did think that something looked funny, but they almost let one go through. And so you just got to do your due diligence and use your safeguards. But I just think that we're trusting. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're so on autopilot with everything. Like, you know, we have everything automatically coming out of everything. And so because we're on autopilot, we don't think to make sure that we take that extra step to guard our stuff and safeguard our things. And so one of the things that I'm learning now is that auto stuff might not be the way to go. Like, you might want to go ahead and do your due diligence and you manually go and have things done when it comes to your affairs.
I can probably do a whole show on scamming of ways that I've gotten scammed. I want to ask you the same question, Dr. Charm. But before that, let me just tell you about another. I got about 10 stories, but let me tell you about another incident that happened. So in my house in California, when I was still married, my ex lost his wallet. So he had to order a new license. And we had the mailbox at the street, you know, that you open up. So his license came in, his wallet got stolen. So I think his license came in, his ATM cards came in, like all these things came in at the same time. So we hadn't checked the mailbox in a few days. Somebody goes, swipes the mail and takes it, right? They go on a shopping spree. They go to Costco. This man goes, and it's a black man. He goes and takes his picture with my husband's ID. His picture. Oh, he got his picture on my husband's ID. So he can go to Costco and use his card. And he bought like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of stuff. He went to several Costco's because I think there was a limit. He went to several Costco's and got a bunch of different stuff. Then the man went to it used to be BBVA, but it's PNC now, bank with his ID and don't look nothing like my ex-husband, and went to withdraw some money out of the account. Thousands of dollars. Don't look nothing like him. And he was able to do that. So, and it's like, okay, was this an inside job? I mean, eventually, and it took a long time for me to be able to get this money back. But I mean, like, do all black people look alike, or y'all just not paying attention, or was it an inside job? But just like you said, we're on autopilot, and even like leaving, you know, your mail in the mailbox. And if it's not in a secured mailbox, you are, you know, you can succumb to fraud. So, Dr. Charm, for you, why do you think so many people are vulnerable to scams these days?
Well, I think also it's just there's a lot of data going around. There's so many data breaches. Like, I'm currently in the Ticketmaster lawsuit for the data breach that happened. Then they had, I think even Experian had to settle. Experian leaked people's data. Facebook, it's like every other month, another company is getting sued because they're leaking people's data. So you just have such a flowing exchange of information, passwords. Then you have people, and a lot of times these scammers are not in the United States. They're in other countries. They're in India. Like, I found this guy on that does these videos on YouTube, and I think also on Twitter, where he actually can hack the person's computer, and he was watching these people, and this is like his mission in life. He hacks their computer that were trying to scam him. He was on this one guy's camera in India. The guy's camera was showing his whole house, his family, them eating dinner. He waited like a few days, and then he revealed that he was watching that guy. And I guess he's got law enforcement involved. But I love stuff like that, where they catching the scammers and watching them get scammed.
Wow. I didn't even know that they had that out there. We're going to talk more about it when we come back from this next break.
I know. You're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, Now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Listen, today we are talking about scammers. It's a lot of scammers out there. Somebody said it's a lot of that going on in Atlanta. It's a lot of Atlanta scammers. We call Atlanta the land of the scammers. But it's scammers everywhere, especially when you're looking overseas. Remember, there was a whole Nigerian epidemic. Now it's the Indians. I've gotten a call from Indians, and I've gotten into cursing matches with them, scammers as well. There's so many different ways and so many different things. Phishing is, really prevalent, and you have to be very careful, even on your social media. You guys, I'll see people's accounts getting hacked. My account never gets hacked because I never click on the stuff. Y'all got to stop clicking on stuff when people send you stuff, especially even if it's from people that they'll send you some stuff and you're like, it's a little suspect. You text that person, say, hey, did you send me this, or is this you, or whatever? Because if you click on it, they're going to hack your account. They're going to take over your thing. And, it's extremely important. Like I have a Shopify account just yesterday. So I had this Nigerian guy working on my Shopify account maybe last year or something like that. And so I hadn't really used it. So yesterday I was using it, I was updating it, I was getting a payout. And it told me, okay, your payout is going to this account that wasn't even mine. Okay. And I was like, wait, so right before I got on here, I was trying to change my bank account back to my bank account because this guy who was working on my Shopify account, he put my payout to his account. Even my books on Amazon, KDP Kindle, somebody hacked my account and made my books payout go to their bank account. So you just don't know, especially when you have so many things going in so many different directions and you're not really keeping track of it. It might be money going to somebody right now that I don't know about. You just don't know because there's somebody hacked my Netflix and made it all Spanish. F my whole thing up. Like just F my whole viewing preferences up. Now I got to go here and start the whole thing and get the algorithm back. It's just so much. But anyway, let's go to the next video and we'll talk about that. Again, I got scammed so much. I could talk all day.
Somebody tried to scam us, and my sister got a phone call at 4:30 in the morning from my phone and from my number. And she heard my voice, me crying on the phone. And a man got on the phone and said that he had me and that he was going to me unless he sent her money, which was really scary for her. So she's confused because she's thinking like, I could have sworn Jessica didn't leave the house, but I hear her and this call is coming from her phone. I had fallen asleep downstairs in the basement. So she had come downstairs in the basement and she woke me up and she told me, like, I heard him on the phone. She was still on the phone with him. I heard him and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't recognize the voice. But she was like, there's a man and he's talking like he has you. He's going to do something to you. And this call came from your number. We hung up, obviously. And then we were just confused and a little shaken up. We didn't know what to do. It sounded like a scam, but we weren't sure. So we're like, okay, so should we call the police or what? A few minutes later, like some time went by. My other sister, she was asleep, but she got woken up because the police called her. and was looking for me. So when I got on the phone, she didn't know what was going on. She was confused too. When I got on the phone, I was talking to the lady. She was saying, hey, your father's on the line. Basically, the guy called my dad after he called my sister. And he did the same thing. It came from my number. So he thought it was me. He heard my voice. He heard me crying. And the guy was saying the same type of stuff. Like, he was crazy. He was going to do this. He was going to do that. Send him money, whatever, to save my life. So my dad was freaked out, and he doesn't even live here anymore. He lives in Florida. So he really was confused and like pissed off, and was trying to figure out what the heck is going on. But the lady told us that it's a new scam using AI. And basically they use your number and they use your voice, and they contact your loved ones and tell them that they have you basically from ransom and they want money, or they'll tell you that your loved one is in another state, in prison, in jail, or whatever, and you need to send them money, whatever.
I mean, long gone are the days when people would just get on the phone and talk dirty and breathe heavy, huh? They doing whole ransom scams. I mean, what do you do in those situations, Dr. Felice? How does somebody handle that?
Well, that happened to my best friend. They did it with her son and said that her son was, they called her son and said, your mother got into this bad accident. We need money or whatever. And he was freaking out, but he had enough gall. He was like, he called her and was like, Mom, are you okay? But it freaked him out. And so what we have to do is we just have to stay, y'all, we have to stay sober. We have to do things that make sure that we stay clear, focused, that we stay in the now and in moments, because we have a tendency to go into la-la. And what do I mean by that? I mean that we kind of go off into these days because we're on autopilot, and because we're so busy, we don't really stay in the now where we can be cognizant. And it's so easy for us to get fooled or to dismiss and not really read something or not reset. So I tell people to do this all day long. Do your breath work throughout the day. What does that do? That helps you to be able to give yourself a pause and to do a reset so that you don't react, but that you give yourself time to really say, okay, what's really going on here? And what do I need to do? Instead of just always just being on the move, reacting. Like, do your breath work throughout the day so that you have time to just give yourself a pause so that you can do it and you can stay in your now and be able to handle things in the moment.
Yeah.
As clear and with as much focus as possible so that you can kind of think through and process what your steps should be, so that you don't just go and move on something prematurely.
You know, Tamisha said, this is starting to get scary. We should all just stay in the house. I'm starting to concur with that sentiment. Jesus, Dr. Sabrina, what, like in that situation, what do you do? What advice would you give?
Well, I've heard of the same thing as well. I know I heard that happened to someone. And I think what we're doing right now, the awareness, raising awareness, heightening awareness of the different schemes that are out there, because the reality is, and someone asked the question, well, you know, what are the solutions? The reality is, for every solution that we come up with, there are 10 more schemes being added every minute, you know. People that are scammers are just gonna scam. That's just the bottom line. That's how they make their living. They're gonna scam. But I think we do have to have these type conversations to make our people aware. And one of the things, you know, we have to think about, where is our voice even in this whole AI conversation? You know, we're hearing all the great things about AI, and AI can do this and that and the other, but there are some really scary things that AI can do. So, okay, one of the things that we can do is be a part of conversations with our representatives and with others that are in decision-making positions about, you know, our experiences, the not so pleasant experiences that we have had with AI and these scams that we're having with AI. Because it's great for us to have them among ourselves, but we got to speak up and advocate to those who represent us so that they know the dangers that these technologies pose to us as citizens in this country. So, I mean, I think there are some things that we can do, and we can elevate our voice and elevate the conversations as we're doing here today.
Yeah, I mean, having these conversations, I think, are paramount to bring awareness. We got to bring awareness. When that video was playing, I was thinking, I need to send that video to my parents and to my siblings and to my children, because you just don't know. But Dr. Charm, what do you think that people should do in those events?
I mean, the one thing is that be aware, pay attention. Like I was talking about my tenant, like she didn't notice that English wasn't American English, or sometimes a lot of times they'll have grammatical errors or things that seem out of place. You know, we know what normal feels like. If you have a feeling in your gut, like I had a friend that somebody got a hold of her email and they were contacting everybody and saying she was stranded in Hawaii and she needed $300, them to send $300, and one of her friends sent it. But this girl is wealthy. So that's why I said about like things that seem out of place. Like, why would your wealthy friend who owns several homes and several businesses and a newspaper need $300 from you in Hawaii? So you gotta you gotta look at what seems out of place and pay attention. If somebody's saying they or like these ones, I just read about one this morning where the lady was like, she was in a relationship with like Usher or somebody. Does that make any sense to you that Usher is DMing you on Facebook? You know, so it's out of place. It doesn't make sense, and you got to use your common sense.
I mean, can I chime in on that too? What Dr. Charm is saying too. Basically, we're so distracted, y'all. Like this distraction is heightened to the point where we're not self-aware. And so we gotta be self-aware. Like you gotta keep your right and not in a fearful way, just to make sure that you're present. And you have got to start practicing and teaching yourself how to not be distracted so that you have the energy and the focus to be able to pick up on stuff, because literally people are on autopilot. And like you would say, who would know like that Usher is not DMing you? Well, because people are so distracted and just so
or delusional.
Delulu.
I think that's the D word that we should say.
Well, no, speaking of D, I'm on a phone call. This person saying they're from the DEA, but they have a very thick foreign accent. Does that make any sense to you? Like somebody that can barely speak English was calling you saying they're from the Drug Enforcement Agency. I mean, it doesn't get any more American than the DEA.
Right. Let's look at these stats. Black Americans are twice as likely to be targeted by online scams than whites. Why? All right, what's the next one? 47% of Americans report losing money to fraud at some point. I've lost money to fraud. Yeah, that's true. So let me just tell you that. So since you guys are saying that, this just happened to me last week. Last week, I'm in the bed, minding my black business. It's 1:00 in the morning. I get a phone call. It's a bail bondsman saying somebody that used to be in my life was in jail. So I'm like, huh? First of all, I'm good in sleep. I'm in that third, level of sleep. So I'm like, what, huh? And I was like, I kind of chuckled a little bit. So they were like, yeah, you are the next of kin, your daughter. So I go down to my daughter's room and I'm like, yo, this is what's going on. I had the guy on the phone and he was like, if you want to go ahead, I think he said $600 to bail the person out. He said, just go ahead and fill out this form. Only thing I need on this form, it was like 3 or 4 page form. I still have it on my phone. He said, just put your name and your driver's license number on there, and then we'll figure out the rest later. And so I go down to my daughter's room and I'm like, the hell? And she just like, please. I call my boys. They're like, psh, let them rot, right? Let them sit. And so I go back to sleep. I was like, yeah, homie, it's not going to happen. I go back to my room. 2 hours later, I get another phone call. Now this time is from the sheriff for the same person. And I said, oh, somebody just called me 2 hours ago. I already, and they were like, oh no, that was a scam. We're real. Somebody must be an inside job, blah, blah, blah. So me and this gentleman, they both black. The other guy was black. This man is black. So we chopping it up. Now, I'm like, yeah, this not happen, homie. I ain't finna do nothing. This person gonna have to just dry out or whatever. So we're having a personal conversation. I'm like, are you on social media? So anyway, I'm talking to my friend because they said, oh, this person's going to be in jail for both of them. One of them said they're going to be in jail for 30 to 90 days if I didn't bail them out. And the other one said 2 to 4 months. This is for a DUI. So I was like, so I'm talking to my friend and she's like, that don't really make sense because, when you go to jail for a DUI, you just kind of go there for the night, go to court and you get out and you're like, you got to pay a fine. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of true, huh? So I called the jail myself. And I said, hey, I was calling, is this right? They said, no, that is a scam. What happens, ladies and gentlemen, is when somebody goes to jail, they can go online to see who gets booked that night. They can see who gets booked. And then they will look up that person and they will do a background check to see who their next of kin is. And then they will call their next of kin. And then you got to pay, they'll say, hey, they're going to be in jail for a long time. If you don't bail them out, you send this money. They're going to get out the next day anyway, but you've just lost money. So the first guy was trying to charge me $600. The second guy was trying to charge me $1,400. And I was just like, let them sit, where they at and let that be that. But that's another scam going on. So had I not even thought about it, I wasn't going to do it anyway, but had I not thought about it or if I was even considering it, I may have done that and not known that, this was some type of scam. So you guys be aware if, you get a call the jail and don't just send nobody money. This guy had a straight document from the bail's bondsman with an email, a website and everything. He sent it to me electronically. All I had to do, it was like a DocuSign doc. All I had to do was go in there and fill it out and then send it back. And then, I guess send them the money. So they're very sophisticated these days, extremely sophisticated. So definitely be aware because it's some scamming ass scammers out there. Do we have any other video? I think we got another video. They are despicable.
And I wanted to talk about the romance scams after we play the video.
The Tinder swindler. Yeah, let's go to another video.
And I got this alarming sound which went off, boom, 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 boom. And I was very nervous trying to turn the computer off, but the thing said, don't turn your computer off because it won't go away. Call this 800 number. So I ended up calling the 800 number. And behind that 800 number, this guy answered who informed me that my bank account had been hacked. And in the bank, they had charged my bank account over several thousands of dollars for child P. Now, you know what I mean? Doing things unspokenly, to children, that is a heinous crime. And I don't do things like that. So when the guy told me that, my bank account had been hacked and they had charged several thousands of dollars to purchase that type of material. And I was really like, oh no, that he said that I would be charged for because it came from my bank account and that the federal government don't look, they're not going to look away on that. They're going to bring me up on charges, which would be felony charges. Felony charges for what? I don't do things like that. So, in order for me to get these charges off of me, this is what the guy said. I needed to take my money out the bank, and because the money had not been taken out of the bank yet, but they had charged it, but it had not been, actually withdrawn. So I went out and he asked me, he told me I needed to take the money out. He said for me not to talk to my family. If anybody I talk to, that they will be charged with the same crime. They will also be a felony. And I mean, it was just a big, just getting my nerves worked up because I know I had not been involved in anything like that. And for me to talk to someone in my family and they all of a sudden become involved just because I talked to them about it, I didn't want to talk to nobody because he said, don't do that because that's what's going to happen. Anyway, long story short, I ended up emptying my bank account because I was too afraid to talk to my family. So I followed all of the directions the guy gave me, and I truly emptied my bank account. And I don't know if there's any possible way I can get that money back, but
No. Once you empty, I'm thinking the whole time, oh, FDIC is sure she'll get the money back. Once you empty that money out the bank account, it's a wrap. Damn. That is unfortunate. That is really sad. Whew. So, I mean, I think it goes back to the awareness piece, y'all. You got to be aware. What do you do in these instances, Dr. Felice?
Wait, I wanted to talk.
Hold on. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Did you hear her also mention her pride as far as not wanting to talk to her family? So y'all got to get past this pride thing, this shame thing. Like, we can't make our family feel guilt because we can sometimes do it in a subtle way where we can kind of make our family not feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Sharing information because they don't want to seem stupid, or they don't want to seem ignorant, or they don't want to seem like whatever. And so she had this pride thing where she didn't feel safe to be able to go to her family members. We've got to stop that. We've got to remove that so that our family knows that they're safe to come to us with any buffoonery.
Yeah, man. I mean, that kind of money, you got to have you have to have, other checks and balances on that. I mean, $100,000. You guys remember when, I don't know if this happened to you, may or not. I got emails from somebody, from an anonymous, and they were saying, we seen what you've been watching on your phone. We got a video of you and you're watching nasty stuff. And if you don't send us money, we're going to expose you. And I'm like, well, you wasn't watching me and I wasn't watching it. So I don't know who was on my phone, but it wasn't me. But imagine they have been able, because I remember I was telling somebody and they look like scared, a little nervous, a little guilty, like they can see that. So you never know that for some people they can get the right one and end up getting some money, by saying, because I mean, people be looking at stuff on their phones and people, that it happens. And so they probably have been successful at, getting people to send them money to not expose them publicly. But now all those are scams as well. But let's talk about relationship scams, Dr. Charm.
Yeah, so I am really good at sussing out these romance scams. I never watched a Tinder swindler. You guys brought that up, but that does bring to mind a famous one. But one thing with people with dating online, here's the stats on online dating. 1 out of 3 marriages are the result of people meeting online these days. So that is a very common place for people to find romance. So some of the things that you can kind of eliminate or they bring up a red flag when you're dating online is, one, the photo. If the photo looks too good to be true, like they look like a model, they've got pictures that are very clearly edited, the lighting, it looks very professional. You can actually take that photo and put it into Google and do what's called a reverse image search. Yeah. And so that you can do a reverse image search, and I've done that before, and I'm like, oh, this guy popped up on like 5 different social medias. I actually had a friend of mine who lives in a neighborhood right over next to me. His picture showed up in a dating site, but he's been in a relationship with the same girl for like 10 years. So I texted him. I was like, yo, what happened? Like, are you out on a prowl? Like, what's going on? He said, that's not my photo. I mean, that's not my profile. So like they had just taken his picture because he has a little bit of a notoriety for having a near-death experience and he does lectures, and they had put it on a dating site. So one thing is do a reverse image search. The next thing is that if you're on a dating site and the person hurries up and they want to go offline like very quickly, like, oh, hey, let's exchange phone numbers. I don't really want to be on a dating site. That's another red flag. If they're coming to you with a WhatsApp number, WhatsApp is used by people in other countries because they don't, they can't afford an American phone bill to call over to America. So WhatsApp is voice VoIP, a voice over internet. So it's free. So if they come in and tell you, hey, can we exchange WhatsApps? That's another red flag. So look for those type of red flags. And if anybody starts to send you money or ask you to send them money saying they have a sick mother or a sick child, or they working right now, but their money is run out, they will bleed people dry. And there are people who think they're in relationships with secret people. Other thing is a refusal to get on camera. If they don't want to get on camera, they don't want to do a video chat with you. That's a huge red flag. And I've even had people online that get on a video call with you, but it's like those old kung fu movies on Saturday mornings in New York. Like the voices are not matching up with the way the lips are moving. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So like like bad lip syncing. So those are all kind of flags for people who are dating online.
Wow. You know what? Listen, I got a story for every situation. Somebody who used to work for me, their aunt, probably in her 60s at the time, got with this guy. He was from the Middle East, young guy. And he was baby, love you, baby, love you, all that. And she was like, this is my man, this is my soulmate. And he was like, I'm gonna send you some money, send me your information. But then what I need you to do is I need you to send me that money back after I send you this money. And so she was like, okay. Next thing she knows, she sent him that money. Her ass end up in jail for wire fraud. Yes. So it is a lot of, it's a lot of Tinder swindlers out there, a lot of scams out there. If it looks too good to be true, a lot of times it is. I'll get friend requests from like some of them the gray beard guys. What's their name? The gray beard guys. Those groups, the group of guys that go around and knowing it ain't them, it's somebody who got their profile.
The Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites?
No, the guys who
Oh, the salt and pepper gang. Oh yeah, those are cutie pies.
Yeah, but their name is something. I know somebody.
It's the salt and pepper gang.
Nah, they call something else.
Oh.
Silver Fox. Yes, thank you, Maria. Thank you. Silver Fox. So the Silver Fox, I'll get DMs. Hey girl, you looking good? Like, let me look. Okay, this profile is 13 days old, right? Somebody stole this man's picture. Now they trying to catfish some people and maybe get some money or whatever, scam some people. So you just gotta you have to do your due diligence. Look a little deeper. Don't just look on the surface. Oh, like this man like me? No, just look a little bit. Just do a little bit of investigation. We're gonna go to our last video before we get up out of here and see another scam.
I want to make you guys aware of a rental scam that I hope you have not fallen for. This usually happens with properties that are administrated by like a corporate management company, faceless, nameless. So what happens is this: these companies use a keyless entry system. So there will be a keypad on the door that allows you to come in and view the property. If you want to view the property, you go to their website and you gain a code that allows you a one-time entry into that property. Now, what these scammers are doing is that they will find a property that has that keyless entry and they will list that property as though it is their own. But what they'll do is they'll list it with their phone number as the contact number. So they have the pictures and the description from the real ad, but the phone number that you're calling is not actually the number that belongs to the leasing agency. It's their phone number, the scammer's phone number. So when you see that ad, a lot of times on Craigslist or even apartments.com, you see that ad and you make that phone call to the scammer, then what they will do is that they will go to the website of that management company and they will gain a one-time entry code to the property. And they will give that code to you, and then you assume because they were able to give you entry into the property that that is their property. And they'll usually say, well, I'm out of town on business, or I bought a house in another city and I'm not able to be there, so that's why I have this key code set up. And the thing to really look for with these scams is that these properties are listed sometimes at half of what they should be. If the property should be renting for $2,000 a month, it's $1,000. So now they've snagged you, they've got you all excited, you're about to get this deal because this dude is really motivated because he had to leave town, And it's way too good to be true. That's what to look for. A deal that is too good to be true. And they're not usually
a deal, a man, a woman. If it looks too good, if your ass is ugly and Halle Berry is trying to holler, it is not, it's not real, y'all. Let's just be real. Usher is not DMing you. Let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. Like, if it's too good to be true, more than likely it's not. I want to go to final thoughts though. And here's the question I want to ask you all, okay? So because we know if knowledge is our best defense, what is one piece of advice that you will pass to your family and to your friends? Because this is important. Your family and friends, especially when we have elderly parents, and we have people who are naive, we have young kids. What is an advice that you would pass to them to avoid scammers? I'm going to start with you, Dr. Charm.
Pay attention. You have to, like I said before, I will never stop reiterating this. You got to pay attention. I caught one of the guys online. He said he was from one place. He gets on the phone with me and he has a Nigerian accent. And I'm like, dude, where are you really from? And I just kept badgering him. And finally he was like, I said, what's your real name? So he told me his real name and I figured out it was Yoruba by the name. And I started talking to him in Yoruba. This man was on the floor. So you got to pay attention and just be aware, you guys. Y'all can find me at Instagram, CharmGirl77. I got a big show at City Winery Atlanta coming up. I got the flyers up on my Instagram, but it's September 15th, 8 p.m. on a Monday night. Come up on a Monday, jokes and notes. We're doing music and comedy. I'm super excited. So yeah, you guys, just pay attention. Pay attention.
Pay attention. You better wake up and pay attention. Y'all remember that from Sister Act? If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere. Y'all don't, okay, anyway. Dr. Felice, what say you? What's advice we can give our friends, family, elderly, youth to avoid the scammers?
Well, first of all, make sure that you have a village or a tribe or somebody that you can trust. So before you make a move, possibly reach out and say, hey, this happened. What do you think? So that somebody can kind of help you. Be aware and to take some steps. Like I have to tell my mother sometimes, mommy, just call me, when you get an offer or something like that, so that I can kind of help you along, because what they do is they prey on people's loneliness. They prey on people's vulnerabilities. They are preying on the fact that you're going to be distracted and not pay attention. And so I really need you to do your self-work to make sure that you can safeguard yourself at all times. I am Felice Hightower-Brit, the b.big.coach on Instagram, and the bbigcoach.com on my website.
Thank you, Dr. Felice. I appreciate it. Be aware, y'all, please. Dr. Sabrina, I want to round it off with you.
Well, I would tell the elderly as well as younger people and all the rest of us, there are a couple of things that we can do. First and foremost, we cannot prevent being exposed to scams. It's just going to happen, whether we're looking for them or not. They're going to find us. So let's just accept that. That's the reality of where we are. But the things that we can do include credit monitoring. Pay that $19.99, $9.99 to get an alert when there are things that are maybe happening on your credit that should not be happening on there. It's well worth it. That's one of the things. The other thing I would say, even after listening again to this AI scam, and that's really scary, you guys, have a conversation with your family and get a code word that only you and the members of your family know, so that you can ask if there is a situation where someone calls you, you can ask for that code word, or it can be known that if I'm talking to you, I'm going to say this particular word. If it's really me, it is this word that we know we've already agreed on that we will say, so that we know we are talking to a real person. And that's the scary part about AI, you guys. For all the good that technology does, because there are some things that are really, really concerning about where we are and where we are going. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in today. I am Dr. Sabrina Edmon Williams, educator, author, and investor, opening minds and closing contracts. I am so noted. I'm so excited and delighted to be a part of this discussion because I think it's a very important discussion for our community. Please follow me online at I Am So Noted across platforms. And if I can help you with your life and legacy plan, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
That was good. I love the code word. I'm going to have a discussion with my family about that too, because I think that's important. It's a discussion that needs to be had for sure, especially with the ransom one. That is freaking scary. And oh, by the way, Anonymous, shut your ass up. The code word is not husband. The code word is not marriage. And you are ugly. I'm pretty sure that you are because you have no picture on it. He said he's handsome. He ain't handsome. He's ugly. That's why your ass is anonymous. I do. Let me just tell you about this last scam before I get off of here. My son in college. So he's in college. He's looking for an internship. He's looking for some type of job. This is not my final thought, but let me just say this real quick. So he's looking for some type of internship. He's looking for some type of job. And so through the school, this company reaches out to him. And he has a job interview over Teams. I watched. He had a job interview over Teams, but they weren't on camera. And I'm looking at the dialogue. The guy is typing. He's not talking. He's typing. And there's some key words that they say in India. They say kindly. They say kindly a lot. Y'all notice that? Y'all notice the Indians say kindly when they're talking to you? Can you kindly do this? Can you kindly do that? I knew that they were Indian. So then they wanted him to do something where he had to pay for something. And then they were going to hire him. It was something crazy. Anyway, I was like, and my son was really excited because he had been looking for a job for months. And I was like, son, I think that's a scam. It is not real. And he went back and then I told him to go to the school and ask if they know this company, if they're in alignment with, there's an alliance with this company. It turns out my son was the first person who told the school, and then the school polled other people and they found out that they were doing this to other people. So there's all types of, from every single gamut. I've got on not those types of scams, but just, people that maybe I've trusted or people that I've vetted. I've invested with some people who've scammed me out of some money. So I've had that. But I would say that you just do your due diligence. Scamming has been around since the beginning of time. It's been around since Adam and Eve, y'all. It's been around since the beginning of time, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And so you got to just keep your head on the swivel, and you got to think defensively. Just like when you drive, you drive defensively. You drive for everybody else on the road. You got to live your life that way, unfortunately, because this world is not friendly and they are trying every day in every way to take from you as much as they can. And they're getting away with it. I'm sure they're getting millions and billions and trillions of dollars from some people, even if it's little things here and there. Like I'll go on my PayPal account and I'll see payments of $40 going somewhere that's been going there for months. And I'm like, what is this? How many people have had these little payments of $40 going to this place that they have no idea that it's just been going for months that you don't really pay attention to? It's from small scams like that to things that are on a major scale. Pay attention, go through all of your bills. Just like Dr. Sabrina said, do the credit alerts, but just kind of go through everything. Rocket Money has a thing on Rocket Money where you can look at all your subscriptions. You may have subscriptions on there that you don't even know that you have. Just go through everything. Just take an inventory of every single dollar that's going out there. And I know, we got so much going on because we swipe it and we got our bills and we're doing all this stuff. And there may be things that are falling through the crack that we have no idea about. So just be very vigilant and be very careful on every single front, because you could be getting scammed from anywhere and everywhere. Just think about it at all times. Think that somebody trying to take something from you. Think about it. Always have that in mind, that somebody trying to take something from you at all times, and live your life accordingly. Unfortunately, we have to live like that, but that's just how it is. So y'all, this wraps up today's episode of Fly Nubian Money. I want to thank you guys all, Dr. Sabrina, Felice, Dr. Charm, the doctors, for sharing tips and breaking it down so that we can protect ourselves and our families. Remember, y'all, knowledge is power, and being aware of scams is the first step to keeping your money safe. Apply what you guys learned today and share it with your loved ones, and don't let anybody take what you've worked so hard for. Let's stay connected, let's stay smart, and always keep leveling up your mindset, and your money. We will see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace.